You walk into a room, you see the girl you like, and you just freeze. You look at her, then you look at your phone. Then you start an entire argument in your head about why now isn't a good time, why you're not ready, why you'll do it next time. And then you go home and act confused about why nothing ever changes with girls. That's the thing you're doing wrong. You keep waiting for some special ability to kick in. You think there are guys who just have it, and you don't. You see a confident dude walk up to a girl, start talking, get her number, and you tell yourself that he must be born that way, or he has some secret line that you don't know. It's not that. This isn't a superpower. It's a set of skills and habits, and right now, most of your habits are set up to make you hesitate, overthink, and back out. So let's fix that. First thing, you have to accept that the start of any interaction will feel awkward. Not might feel awkward, will feel awkward. When two people who don't know each other suddenly stop and talk, there's a tiny moment where both people are adjusting. Your brain is catching up, her brain is catching up, and it feels a bit stiff. That's normal. That's not a sign that you did anything wrong. The problem is that most guys treat that first awkward moment as proof that they already failed. They trip a little on their words, or their handshake feels weird, or there's a 1-second silence, and straight away they think, this is ruined. Their energy drops, they shut down, and then, now it actually is ruined. So you put a rule in your head: the first 10 seconds do not count. You give yourself a personal 10-second window where you know it might feel stiff, your voice might shake a bit, your timing might be a little off, and you accept it ahead of time. You decide before you even walk up that those first seconds are just a warm-up. You do not judge yourself based on them. When you go in with that mindset, the awkward moment doesn't knock you off your balance. You mess up a word, you keep going. You fumble your name slightly, you keep going. You let the moment pass and your body relaxes on its own. Think back to times you tried to talk to a girl and it went badly. Maybe your hand felt sweaty when you shook hers. Maybe you went for a hug and she didn't expect it. Maybe you said your name at the same time as she said hers and it felt clumsy. Most guys take that little mistake and make it 10 times bigger in their head. They stare at themselves from the outside. They imagine how stupid they must look. And once they do that, everything after feels forced. If you want to get good at approaching girls, you have to stop blowing up small things into huge disasters. You're not on a stage. She's not grading you. She is also a human, and she feels awkward too. That alone makes things calmer. So here's how you use the 10-second rule in practice. Before you walk up, remind yourself, there will be a small bit of awkward energy at the start. That's fine. I'll just go through it. Keep that thought simple in your mind. Then, when it happens, you don't overreact. You stay with the conversation instead of trying to escape it. You give your body a few seconds to adjust. Your breathing evens out. You stop staring at your own behavior and you start paying attention to her. That's when your natural personality starts to come out instead of that panicked version of you that only shows up when you're overthinking. Now let's talk about what happens before you even move. You see a girl you want to talk to. What usually happens? Your eyes follow her for a second, your heart rate jumps, and then your brain starts throwing excuses at you. She's busy. She probably has a boyfriend. Everyone will see. I'll do it later. If you don't do anything, that excuse machine wins every time. Your body stays still and your thoughts keep stacking up reasons to avoid the risk. You can't let your brain have that much time. You have to act before the excuses grow. One of the best ways to do that is stupidly simple. Control your breath and control your movement. As soon as you spot a girl you want to approach, you take one slow, deep breath. You put all your attention on that breath. You feel your chest expand, you feel the air going out. While you do that, you don't argue with your thoughts, you don't debate anything, you just breathe. As soon as that breath ends, you move. You stand up, or you step off the wall, or you start walking in her direction. You don't let another 10 seconds go by where you're sitting there thinking up problems. Your body moves first, and your thoughts have to follow that. At the same time, keep one simple sentence in your head, nothing fancy. Something like, I can handle this. Not a speech, just a short statement that reminds you that you're capable of walking up and speaking. Between that one breath, that one movement, and that one thought, you give your brain almost no space to start overanalyzing. You go from stuck to in motion fast, and once you're moving, it's much easier to keep going. This doesn't mean you will feel completely calm at the start. You might still feel your heart beating. Your legs might feel a bit light. That's normal. You just don't give those sensations extra meaning. You don't say, "I feel nervous, so this is a bad idea." You say, "I feel nervous because this matters to me. I'm still going to do it." Nervous energy is not a sign that something is wrong. It's just your body responding to a new situation. You can still speak clearly while your heart is beating fast. You can still say your name while your hands feel a little shaky. Your goal isn't to erase nervousness. Your goal is to act even while you feel it. Now, there's another piece here that almost nobody talks about: how you present yourself. You don't need to be a model, but you do need to look like you take basic care of yourself. If your clothes fit badly, your pants are falling down, your shirt is stained, your hair looks like you rolled out of bed, it doesn't matter how strong your mindset is. The first impression is weaker. You want simple things handled: clothes that fit your body, a belt that actually keeps your pants at your waist, shoes that are clean, fresh breath, basic grooming. Nothing flashy, just not sloppy. It isn't about impressing girls with brands or style. It's about not letting easy, fixable things hold your confidence back. When you know you look at least put together, you stand straighter, you move smoother, and you worry less about how you come across. That alone makes talking to girls easier. Next important skill: being ready for rejection. No matter how confident you are, you will get turned down. There's no version of this where every girl says yes. Real life doesn't work that way. If you treat every no like a huge personal insult, you're going to stop approaching very fast. If you expect that sometimes it won't work and you plan how you'll react, it becomes just another part of the process. So you prepare yourself in advance. You accept that some girls will have boyfriends, some will be in a rush, some just won't feel it. That doesn't mean you're worthless. It doesn't even mean you did anything wrong in that moment. Have a default reaction ready in your mind for when she's not interested. Not a long explanation, not an apology, not begging for another chance. Just a short, calm response that shows you're okay. Something that keeps your posture straight and your mood steady. You keep your face relaxed. You keep a small, natural smile. You nod. You let her see that you're not angry, not bitter, not hurt. What this does is simple. It protects your pride and your mood. You walk away with your head up. You don't drag that one no into the rest of your day. You can approach the next girl without feeling like you're still replaying the last one. Sometimes she'll even keep talking out of curiosity because she didn't expect such a relaxed reaction. But the main point isn't to win her back. The main point is to train yourself to stay grounded. A good way to get used to this is to practice being around rejection in small ways. You can start by asking for simple things in daily life. Ask someone for the time even if you already know it. Ask a stranger a small question in a store. Ask where something is, even if you could just look around. The goal isn't the answer. The goal is training your nervous system to handle talking to people you don't know. Once that starts to feel normal, talking to girls doesn't feel like such a huge leap. Approaches get easier when your brain stops treating every new interaction as a crisis. Another mindset that helps a lot: see the approach itself as something good you gave. You walked over, you offered attention, you tried to make someone's day a little more interesting. Even if she doesn't want to give her number, she still got a compliment and a moment out of her routine. You're allowed to be proud that you took action. You're not trying to steal something from her. You're not doing something wrong. You're just showing interest in a direct and respectful way. That is normal human behavior. See yourself as someone who adds value just by having the courage to show up. Now let's talk about body language, because this is huge. When a girl is walking and you want to talk to her, it's your job to actually stop her. If you stand far to the side and mumble something, she'll often keep walking because her body already has momentum. She might hear you, but it's easy for her to act like she didn't. So when you approach, you want your body to show that you're talking to her, not to the air. You walk with a straight posture. You step in front of her path at a respectful distance, not blocking her, but clearly in her line of sight. You face her. You lift a hand slightly so she sees you are talking to her. Your voice is clear, loud enough that she can hear you without you shouting. For those first few seconds, your body language is firm, not aggressive in a scary way, but clear and decisive. You are present. You are not half walking away as you speak. That gets her attention and tells her that this is a real interaction, not random background noise. But here's the key. You don't stay in that strong posture the whole time. If you keep standing squared up right in front of her, chest forward, feet planted, she might start to feel trapped or pressured. The energy stays too intense. So once she stops and you've said why you approached and maybe exchanged names, you switch. You shift your back foot slightly. You angle your body a bit so you're not straight in front of her. You give her a little more space. Your shoulders relax. Your hands stop making big gestures and just rest naturally by your sides, or lightly moving when you speak. Your voice stays clear, but it gets a bit more calm. Your eye contact becomes softer. You still look at her, but you're not staring into her without blinking. That switch in body language tells her, I'm not trying to corner you, I'm just talking to you. It takes pressure off her and off you. So the pattern is simple. First, clear, confident body language to get her attention and stop her. Then, relaxed, open body language to make the conversation feel comfortable. Most guys either stay too soft the whole time so she doesn't stop, or they stay too intense the whole time so she wants to escape. You want both modes, and you want to move between them smoothly. Also, pay attention to distance. When you first stop her, you don't stand right in her face. You keep about an arm's length, maybe a bit more. You don't touch her to get her attention. You don't grab her wrist. You don't tap her shoulder from behind. You let your position and your voice do the work. Once you're in the relaxed part of the interaction, make small adjustments. If she steps back, you give her that space. If she leans in, you don't suddenly lean away. You match her comfort level while still staying grounded in your own frame. Reading these small signals matters more than having some special line. Let's talk about what you actually talk about. You don't need a perfect script. You don't need a clever joke. You need simple basics. You introduce yourself. You let her know you noticed her and wanted to meet her. You ask a basic question that fits the situation. You listen to her answer. You react like a normal person. You don't need to talk her ear off. You don't need to turn it into a long interview about her whole life. Short and simple makes it easy for both of you. Remember, your main goal in those first minutes is not to prove that you're the most interesting person she has ever met. Your main goal is to show that you are normal, confident, and not weird about talking to her. That's it. Sometimes your mind will go blank mid-conversation. That's fine. You might finish your sentence and then not know what to say next. Instead of panicking, you can just take a breath, look at her for a second, and say something basic about what's happening around you, or ask a simple follow-up related to what she just said. The more pressure you put on yourself to be endlessly interesting, the more tense you become. The more you accept that small pauses are okay, the more natural the interaction feels. You're not a performer. You're just a guy talking to a girl. Now, one of the most important habits. You should usually be the one who ends the interaction. Unless you are clearly taking her somewhere right then, like sitting down for a quick drink together, you don't want to stand there and drag the conversation on until it dies by itself. That feels needy. It also makes it more likely that things get awkward at the end. Instead, keep the conversation short, focused, and then you wrap it up. You talk for a bit, you get a feel for her energy, and if it's going well, you tell her you need to go handle whatever you were doing before. Then you move to exchange contact. You don't stand there waiting for her to decide when it's over. You lead that part. Ending the interaction yourself sends a few clear messages. It shows that you have a life and things to do. You're not just wandering around begging for attention. It shows that you're not scared of walking away. You're not clinging to the moment, trying to squeeze every second out of it. It also protects your time and energy. You're not investing 10, 15 minutes into a girl who hasn't actually invested much into you yet. You're keeping things light and efficient. If she likes you, she'll be fine with that, and she'll respond to your message later. If she doesn't, extra talking wouldn't have fixed that anyway. A lot of guys think they need to stay and talk forever to build comfort. The truth is, some girls will still flake even after a long conversation. And some girls will respond after a very short one, if your energy was right and your timing was good. So instead of doing 20-minute street interviews with every girl, focus on doing more approaches and keeping each one high quality but not endless. That way you get way more real-world practice and you don't burn out. Quality of presence matters more than length of conversation. After each approach, give yourself a quick review, but keep it simple. Ask yourself, did I move fast enough after I noticed her? Did I accept the awkward start instead of freaking out? Did I use the strong body language to stop her and then relax once we started talking? Did I end the interaction, or did I wait for her to escape? Notice one thing you did well and one thing you can improve next time. That's it. No long mental beatdown. No replaying the whole conversation over and over. You're training a skill. You're allowed to make mistakes while you get better. You can also work on this in other areas of your life. If your body is weak and you never exercise, it's harder to feel solid while you talk to people. When you train, even a little, you get used to discomfort. You feel more in control of your body. You move with more power. That doesn't mean you need to be a professional athlete. It just means that putting effort into your physical health helps your social confidence. When you feel strong, you stand differently. You speak differently. Girls notice that, even if they can't explain it. The same thing goes for how crowded environments affect you. If you never leave your room and you suddenly try to talk to a girl in a packed gym at peak time, it's going to feel like a lot. Loud music, people everywhere, eyes on you, all of it can raise your anxiety. So start in easier environments, quiet streets during the day, cafes, parks, places where people are calmer. Once that feels normal, then you can handle harder spots without feeling overwhelmed. Build up gradually instead of jumping straight into the most intense situation. Another thing that makes a huge difference: respect. You're not trying to force anyone to talk to you. If she seems clearly closed off, headphones in, fast walk, short answers, you don't push it. You keep it polite and you let her go. Being persistent does not mean ignoring boundaries. It means you show up often, not that you refuse to leave one girl alone. You want to be the guy who can approach, not the guy who can't take a hint. Your breathing and voice matter a lot too. When you speak, don't rush every word. Keep your voice steady. You don't need to be super loud, but you also don't want to whisper. Aim for a clear, relaxed volume. If you notice your voice shaking, slow down your words a bit and exhale fully before you start your next sentence. That alone can calm you down. People feel your energy through your voice. If you sound like you're about to sprint, she'll feel tense. If you sound calm and direct, she'll feel more comfortable. Eye contact is another simple but powerful tool. When you introduce yourself, look her in the eyes for a moment. Don't stare nonstop the whole time, but don't keep looking at the ground or past her shoulder either. Let yourself break eye contact naturally, then come back. Think of it as letting your eyes check in with her, not locking onto her. That creates a balanced feeling. She sees that you're confident enough to look at her, but not so intense that it feels aggressive. Hands and arms can either help or hurt you. If your arms are crossed the whole time, you look closed off. If your hands are buried deep in your pockets and you're staring at the floor, you look unsure. If your hands are doing way too much, you look nervous. Let your arms hang naturally when you're not gesturing. Use your hands a bit for emphasis when you talk, but don't overdo it. The goal is relaxed, not frozen, and not chaotic. Small details like this add up to the overall feeling she gets from you. One more thing a lot of guys forget: your face. If your facial expression is very serious the whole time, she can feel like she did something wrong or like this is some intense event. If you're smiling non-stop, it can look fake. Aim for a calm, soft expression with a small, natural smile that comes and goes. Show that you're happy to talk to her, but you're not trying to sell something. You want her to get the sense that this is normal for you, not a once-a-year event. If you want to improve faster, you can set small daily challenges. For example, today I will say a short sentence to 3 strangers. Or, today I will introduce myself to 1 girl no matter how it goes. You don't worry about the result, you focus on doing the action. When you keep that up for a while, your brain adjusts. Approaching stops feeling like a huge leap and starts feeling like part of your life. Consistency beats perfect attempts. You should also work on how you see yourself overall. If you constantly tell yourself that you're awkward, boring, or unattractive, that will leak into everything you do. You'll approach already expecting to lose. Your body will follow that story. You don't need to stand in the mirror and repeat fake lines about being amazing. You just need to respect your own effort. You're working on yourself. You're improving your social skills. You're trying, while most people sit and complain. See yourself as someone who is learning, not someone who is broken. Another important point: don't bring all your life problems into one interaction. The girl you talk to doesn't know your full story. She doesn't know your past, your fails, your wins. She only sees the version of you that's in front of her for those few minutes. So don't act like this one approach has to fix your whole life. It's just one moment. It can go well or not. Either way, you keep going with your life afterward. That takes a lot of weight off your shoulders. It also helps to keep your expectations realistic. Not every girl you talk to will turn into a date. Not every number will lead to a meetup. Some conversations are just practice. Some are just a nice moment in your day. When you accept that, you stop treating every interaction like a life or death situation. You relax. You become more fun to be around. You actually enjoy the process, and that makes you more attractive without you trying so hard. Finally, remember this: you don't become confident with girls by watching endless videos or reading endless posts. You become confident by walking up, feeling nervous, doing it anyway, messing up a bit, learning, and repeating. The skills you want are on the other side of that first 10 seconds of awkwardness. So next time you see a girl you want to talk to, don't wait for some special power to appear. Take a breath, stand up, start walking. Accept that the first seconds might feel off. Switch your body language once she stops. Keep it short. End the interaction yourself. Learn, repeat. If you keep doing that, you won't need some imaginary super ability. You'll just be the guy who actually goes for what he wants.